Oh my gosh. Is it working? Is it happening? Can you hear me? This was rough, y'all. Jeez. Goodness gracious. Okay. Yay! Thank you, Ellie. Okay. I am so freaking sorry, everybody. Um, that was a little ridiculous. I don't know what the fudge happened, but here we are. And thank you for joining me, everybody. Seriously, this is fantastic. Okay. Thank you for letting me know it's you, Kate. I was like, who the heck is the Lost Gondorian? All right. Wow. I feel like there's never a dull moment with these live streams. Allie, clearly Satan is at work here, Allie Anderson. That's so funny. Okay, so that was really insane, everything that just happened. I tried to go live. I had like a scheduled live stream on YouTube, and then I had practiced it yesterday even. So I was like ready to go. I knew it was working. Um, and then when I went to go live today, it didn't work. And it said I had to connect to a streaming service. So I had to hurry up and figure out what the fuck I was doing connecting to Streamlabs, which then could like stream to YouTube. And I am not someone who has any idea. I don't Technology is not my strong suit, but we did it. We're here. We did it. And that is all I care about. So let me just get a little bit more organized here real quick before we dive in. Thank you everybody for like hanging in there. That was rough, but y'all are the real MVPs. I'm telling you what. Okay, welcome everybody. For those of you, Streamlabs is rough at first. Yeah, I was like, what the fudge is happening? But here we are, Streamlabs. We got it going. If at any point in time the video or audio or anything cuts out, please let me know in the comments. I am tracking the comments as I'm going through my notes and as I'll be playing a video. So it would just be so helpful if you guys could just kind of keep me in the loop on the quality of this right now, because this is new for me. So it would just be so helpful. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Okay, welcome. My name is Abby, for those of you who don't know. I am a licensed therapist, and the Rosé Exposé experience is a fun way for me to combine my knowledge as a therapist who specializes in religious trauma and my real life experiences as someone who's healed their way out of charismatic Christianity. But caveat, this is not therapy. These are my own personal experiences, and my personal experiences don't speak for the experiences of others. And spirituality and religion, they absolutely play a super beautiful, healthy role in our overall mental health. However, when your spirituality or religion is dictated by a person or institution that holds power over your autonomy, we're walking into cult territory at that point. Just like last time for my last Rosé Exposé experience, I want to add that this live is going to be pretty unfiltered. I am just kind of coming on here and talking pretty freely. I do curse, I swear, in these videos. I also use what we were taught in the Christian churches, the Lord's name in vain, Jesus Christ, quite often when I'm talking. So if that offends you, that's okay. Like, that's truly okay. If you have children around, you might want to wear headphones or, wait until you don't have kids around to watch this. But if how I'm speaking is too much for you, that's okay. It's okay for you to turn this video off. It's okay for you to not tune in. Rosé Exposé is created for people who are healing from indoctrination as a way to provide psychoeducation on the cult-like tenets within Christianity. But it's also a way for me to reckon with my own religious trauma. I spent 28 years of my life indoctrinated, attempting to fit into this like small, polite, kind version of who the church told me I needed to be as a woman. And I refused to spend the rest of my life being a shadow of who I really am. So, as hopeful as I am that this is helpful and healing for you, it is helpful and healing for me. And if what we talk about today or what I kind of go over today, if that doesn't sit well with you, that's okay. I'm serious. It's okay. It doesn't offend me. And I care so much more that you take care of yourself first. Okay. Let me pull back up my notes real quick. All right. So we're going to break down three separate Instagram story videos that I created back in 2018 when I was deep in charismatic Christianity. Just like the last Rosé Exposé, I'm going to break down the indoctrination psychologically in these videos so we can really see what's happening. But we're also adding in another element. Spiritual psychosis. My hope is to just like keep building on this shit. The last time we did Rosé Exposé, it was just indoctrination. This time we're doing indoctrination, but we're also looking at spiritual psychosis within that as well. So grab your favorite drink of choice, as if you didn't have enough time being 25 minutes late. Grab your favorite drink of choice. Mine is wine from Good Clean Wine. Seriously, the best wine I've ever had. And they are the unofficial sponsor of this live, just letting you know. I actually did get to talk to one of the owners of Good Clean Wine. She spoke to me a little bit about them having this wine company that's kind of in the Bible Belt of the US. And so it was really cool. And anyway, yes, so Good Clean Wine, check them out. They are tagged in the description of this video, so feel free to check them out. Check out their wine. It's my favorite. No like headaches or hangovers with their wine. I just feel really good. As good as you can feel on wine, I feel pretty good when I drink their wine. Okay. Also, I want to encourage you to feel free to interact in the comments. I want this to be very interactive. Ask questions, talk about your experiences. The last Rosé Exposé was really cool because other people were like connecting with each other. And these were people from worlds that didn't know each other. So it was cool to watch people not only like interact during the video, but interacting with each other. That was dope. Before we dive in, it's a dry wine, Kate. Definitely a dry wine. They don't really have a sweet wine. Yeah, mostly dry wine. So if you're a sweet wine great question. If you're a sweet wine person, their wine might not be your thing. They don't have any sweeter wines. Yeah, definitely. This is definitely more dry. Yeah. Okay, before we get into it, I do want to talk about what spiritual psychosis is in the context of Christianity. But before we go there, we have to define psychosis in general. So psychosis is a mental health condition characterized by a loss of contact with reality. So during a psychotic episode, a person might experience disturbances in their thinking, perceptions, emotions, and behavior. Psychosis can significantly impact daily functioning and relationships, and it often requires a medical diagnosis. So the key features of psychosis, not spiritual psychosis right now, but just psychosis, include hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thinking and speech, disorganized abnormal motor behavior, also known as catatonia, which is kind of like this state of unresponsiveness or like rigidity, kind of like being unpredictably agitated or bizarre and having inappropriate behavior, and a reduction or absence of normal emotions or behaviors. So multiple things can cause psychosis, like mental health disorders, substance abuse, neurological disorders, genetics and brain chemistry, and also trauma and stress. Spiritual psychosis falls under the trauma and stress category because when we're talking about spiritual psychosis, we're talking about a person who has experienced or is in the middle of experiencing religious trauma. Okay. Spiritual psychosis is not a formal medical or psychological term, but it's a term used to informally describe a situation where someone is undergoing a spiritual or religious experience that causes them to have behaviors and symptoms typically associated with psychosis. So this can include hallucinations, delusions, disorganized thinking, and extreme behaviors that are out of touch with reality. I'm going to put this next part here in the chat so that, can I chat? I can chat, yes. Awesome. So that you guys have like a frame of reference as well when we're watching these videos that I've stitched together of myself. And this is basically, hold on, let me paste it in here. Can I even? Oh, shoot. I can't. It's just going to take a bit. That's fine. Yes, spiritual psychosis is very interesting. I also never thought about it before either, Kate, but when I was watching videos of myself back in 2018, I had like this look in my eyes, and it's like I work in the realm of like cult things, and so I've done a lot of studies on cult like behaviors, and I you can almost tell by someone's like eyes and their eye contact when they're in a cult. There's like this glaze. It's like this glaze over their eyes, and you guys are actually going to see that in these videos of myself. I just have this look on my face and in my eyes that's actually fucking eerie. Like I looked back and I'm like, I give myself the chills. Okay, so I can't put this next part in the comments, but maybe I'll put it in the description once the video's over. But basically, it is all of the tenets, like the key aspects of spiritual psychosis, which I think would be helpful for you guys to know as we go through these videos and I'm pointing things out, because then you can kind of like have a roadmap for what you're looking at. So one of the key aspects of spiritual psychosis is religious delusions. So a person experiences spiritual psychosis in a Christian context. They might believe that they're receiving direct messages from God, that they're a chosen prophet, or that they have a special mission that others don't understand. And these delusions can sometimes lead to dangerous or erratic behavior. Nice keyboard. Kate, you're good. Then we have visions and auditory hallucinations, like hearing the voice of God, seeing visions of angels or demons, interpreting ordinary events as signs from God are all common elements in spiritual psychosis. While many Christians believe in the possibility of divine communication, these experiences can become problematic when they dominate a person's life in a way that disconnects them from reality. Then the third one here is religious mania. This term describes a state of intense religious excitement and overactivity where the person might exhibit erratic behavior such as excessive preaching, giving away possessions, or engaging in risky behaviors because they believe they're following divine instructions. This next one is biblical interpretation. So some people in spiritual psychosis develop an obsession with specific passages of the Bible, believing they've discovered hidden or personal meanings that justify extreme actions. This can include apocalyptic beliefs or the idea that they're living in a special divine time. Literally, let's pause here. How many times have we heard that within the last few years? How many times have we heard that in the last few years of like, man, we're living in the end times? Wow, we're living in such a divine time. And this kind of ties in with Trumpism, storming of the Capitol on January 6th. Enough said there. This second to last one is spiritual warfare and demonic influence. So in hold on, gotta take a drink of my wine. So in Christianity, the belief in spiritual warfare, which for those of you who aren't familiar, that is the battle between good and evil forces. It can sometimes lead people to interpret psychological symptoms as signs of demonic possession or influence. And this obviously complicates things because it can cause the person to resist medical or psychological help due to believing they're under a spiritual attack. And this belief also influences others that maybe their mental health issues are actually just Satan and his demons. And then the last one here for the key aspect of spiritual psychosis is integration in faith communities. So Christian communities typically struggle integrating genuine spiritual experiences and mental health issues. And although we've come a super long way regarding the integration of genuine psychological care in the church, we still have a really fucking long way to go. Really fucking long way to go. Okay, if you have any questions about that, let me know. At the end of this video, I will put those like key aspects of spiritual psychosis in the description of the video. That way you can go back and kind of like read that as well. I have stitched these 3 videos together. So you're going to be able to cringe alongside me. We're going to watch these together. I want to give a little bit of context for this first video. Actually, before I pop it up, I want to figure out how to pop it up on StreamYard. So give me a second. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Why does this happen to me? Overlays? Editor? That's not what I want. Ah! How do I go back? How do I go back? Okay. We're going to try something. Hold on. I promise the next one will be better. Yeah, Kate, every mental health diagnosis is a freaking demon, and it's really frustrating. Let me do some Googling real quick. Grab some wine, everybody. Grab some wine. Oh, let me do some Googling how to do this on Stream Key. Maybe Zach knows. Kate, if Zach knows. I'm trying to like pull up another window so that I can share my screen and have you guys see the video. How to share screen. Click present, then share screen at the bottom of the page. Thanks, Kate. Let's do click present. Oh, all right. Thanks anyway, Zach. I appreciate it. That's so funny. That's okay. Let me see. Just gonna go back to this real quick. I'm sweating. Settings? Yes. Shares. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. Go to the studio. How do I go to the studio? Whoa. Oh! Fuck. This is very unfortunate. I really wanted you guys to see these videos. Okay, well. Oh, I think I'm doing something. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Wait, is it doing it? Come on. I don't think it did it. How unfortunate. Dang. What is this? Yes. Oh! Do you guys see it? Please tell me you see it. Oh, wait. Oh! Do you see it? And you still see me? Please tell me this worked. Okay, it did work. Did it work? Somebody tell me. I think it worked. I'm seeing it show up on the... Yes! Fuck. All right. We did it. Oh no, am I frozen? Okay, no, I'm not frozen. Thank goodness. Okay. Woo! Could have been rough, but it wasn't. I'm just going to adjust some settings here real quick. Transition myself. All right. That's what I want. Guys, thank you so much for your patience. Genuinely appreciate this. All right, let's give this a shot. Can't promise many things, but we're going to try this. Oh, I think it's working. Okay. Let me get everything situated, because I want to try to see your comments at the same time. I don't think that's going to be possible. So what I'm going to do is I will play the... Okay. All right. I'm going to play this video here. Bring up my notes real quick for myself. And all right, I'm going to get into the context now of the first video. Jesus Christ, this took forever. I'm so sorry. Thank you everybody for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it more than you know. You guys are the best. Okay. Woo! So as I said before, I stitched 3 videos together. So this is going to be the first video. And in this first video, I'm talking about the importance of taking a Sabbath. In Christianity, having a Sabbath day means mimicking what Christians believe God did in the creation story in Genesis, which is when he rested on the 7th day. So Sabbath days are essentially highlighting the importance of rest, which I love. Like, obviously a very important ideal. But how I talk about this in this video is not ideal. So some of the Instagram videos that I attempted to download for this first set of videos, it glitches. So we're missing like 1 or 2 like Instagram story slides. But it's okay. I'll fill in context where needed. I don't really think there's going to be a lot of context needed here. We are going to get started. So I hope this works. And I'll play this first part here. Here we go. Affirmation a lot. It's one of like my greatest difficulties in life. And so I'm laying there and I'm just like letting the Holy Spirit do its thing. And I'm reminded of this memory that I have completely forgotten, guys. I could not have recalled this memory on my own. I was reminded of this memory when I was in kindergarten, and I had this kindergarten teacher. And I remember one time I dropped my pencil and she screamed at me. And I remember feeling like this big. And she continued to just yell at me for really minor things. Okay, I'm going to pause it here real quick. Let me know just in the comments if you could hear that audio from the video, just so I know. And I'll wait. I think there's a little bit of a lag between StreamYard and YouTube. So I'm just going to wait a little bit till I see someone like just give a thumbs up that they could hear that. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, isn't it insane? Yeah, everybody, like, look at my eyes. Thank you, Ariane. Thank you. Ariane, good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you hopped on here. Okay, so in this video, I'm saying that I couldn't have remembered that memory on my own about the kindergarten teacher dropping the pencil thing, like when I dropped the pencil and she screamed at me. First off, yes, I could have. That was a very fucking traumatic time in my life as a 5-year-old. That memory is ingrained into my head. I will never forget that teacher, how she treated me, how she spoke to me, and how she made me feel. The over-spiritualization that I'm doing in this is pretty wild. Let's continue. And my parents actually ended up removing me from her kindergarten class and placing me with a different teacher. But I was 5 at the time, right? And I couldn't really like recall, like I wouldn't have thought of that memory on my own. And so God showed me this memory and he was like, this was it. This was the first time that you ever felt small. And so pause. God showed me this memory and said, this was it. This was the first time you felt small. I am having an auditory hallucination, which is a part of spiritual psychosis, okay? Literally, it's an auditory hallucination. I asked God for forgiveness towards that kindergarten teacher, and I broke any ties that I might have had with her. Meant, oh, it's such a beautiful moment. And then I asked him to like, okay. If you guys are familiar with charismatic Christianity, I'm sure you've heard of the terms broke any ties. That's a very charismatic Christian belief that when like someone has sinned against us or we've committed a sin, we're somehow bound to that person or that sin until we've prayed to like break ties with them or that sin. My question, the overarching question I have is like, is it a sin or is it the human condition? Is it sin or is it trauma? Which we can get to in further discussion. You know, I wrestle with anxiety as a lot of us do. It's a really common thing, especially today, which I totally believe is a spiritual attack. But uh, therapist to me is like, oh my God, Abby. Mm. Um, I totally believe anxiety is a spiritual attack. Yikes, 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 yikes. People, when I was in charismatic Christianity, people were like praying over me in church almost every Sunday to get rid of my like anxiety for me. I was having panic attacks daily, but at the time I had no clue like that's what they were. I didn't know it was panic attacks. I thought I was experiencing demonic attacks. No one ever said to me, "Hey Abby, maybe think about seeing a therapist. Maybe consider medication." In that church bubble, my anxiety was only a spiritual thing. That was it. It couldn't have had anything to do with growing up in an abusive home with an insecure attachment and constantly having a dysregulated nervous system and becoming an adult who developed complex trauma. Like, that's bullshit. No way. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah. Ariane, after going to getting my master's and like doing some work in as a therapist and working with people in the religious trauma context and becoming someone who specializes in that, I started to like sit there and actually think. This has been a very recent also deconstruction, by the way. um I started thinking like, wait, is it sin, or is it actually just trauma and we've been told that it's sin this whole time? Which that makes you look at people way different. Way different. All right, let's get back into it. Yeah, Kate, you're exactly right. Everything, like through the church, nothing's physical. It's all spiritual. It is all spiritual. Everything is spiritual through the lens of the church. And that's really harmful. Ask God to just reveal to me when the first time I like experienced anxiety was, so that I could go back to that memory. And all I heard was the womb. And I was like, oh, holy crap. Okay, let's pause here. So I'm saying that I heard the womb, which is auditory hallucination again. However, this actually does line up with an experience that I had during an EMDR session when I was starting to deconstruct already. So it was I was getting my master's degree, and we were practicing. No, I wasn't getting my master's degree. I already had it. Yeah, I was getting trained in EMDR, and it was a virtual like online training, and we were practicing EMDR with fellow cohorts, and someone was doing EMDR on me, and I saw myself in utero and basically saw like an image of my parents while I was in utero. That internally confirmed for me the source of my anxiety and how it's followed me my entire life. But here's the difference. In the first experience, I'm in spiritual psychosis, attempting to connect to the Christian God as my higher power to inform me of what I need to fix about me. In the second experience, my EMDR experience, I'm connecting to myself. Oh no. I want to make sure it's okay. Okay. I think it was buffering for a bit there. Oh, shoot. I'm just going to keep going in hopes that this works. Oh. As such, viewers will experience. You must have enough video. Enough video? What does that even mean? Okay, I'm sorry it's buffering. I hope it gets better. Yeah, I saw that I kept freezing. I'm going to slow down real quick. Hopefully it'll catch up. Hi, Nitty. Hey, baby. You want to say hi to the people? What you doing? Love you, puppies. Careful. Okay. Hopefully. All right, I think we're a little bit better. Okay, yeah, I think we're okay now. I'll just pause whenever that happens. So in that first version, I'm over here trying to, connect to the Christian God as my higher power to inform me of what he needs to fix about me. In this second experience, I'm connecting to myself, my internal world, my own trauma, my own compassion for myself, not from the lens of needing to fix my anxiety, but from the lens of holding space for that anxious little kid version of myself who had no other option but to stay in fawn and flight mode as a child in order to feel safe. That's the difference. One of them leads to healing, and the other is a cover-up. All right, let's keep going. Hopefully this will not freeze anymore. Okay. Oh, shit. Is it freezing again? Ugh. I don't know how to make this better. I don't know how to make this better. No. No. Ugh, this is so frustrating. Maybe we move down to closer to Wi-Fi. I wonder if that, I don't know. Okay, what if I stop sharing? Let's try this. Damn. Damn. Okay, we back? I had to refresh that. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. That's frustrating. I hope we're back. Let me know if you can hear me again. I'm so sorry. I don't know if it was because I don't know what it was, but I have to now put back up the video. Oh, goodness. Window capture. Yes. Okay. Done. Done. All right, let's try that. Thanks, guys. Man, this is a rough deal. All right, back to it. Here we go. Thanks for hanging in there. Jesus Christ.
A lot of sense, because like my mom wrestled with anxiety at one point in time when I was a kid. My grandma wrestles with it. My grandma's dad had anxiety. Like, this is a generational curse that has been on my family, and it ends with me. So I was able to just, man, God just meets us where we are. And the reason why we need to have Sabbaths is so that these things can happen, so that we're not walking around in our crap all the time and affecting everybody else. Like, we are meant to be full people.
Ew. Hate everything I just said there. Generational curse is what I said. No, this is generational trauma. Charismatic Christianity indoctrinates people to the point where nothing mental health related or psychologically related exists. It's all otherworldly, otherrealmly, spiritual, demonic, etc. Yeah, and then I'm over here saying it ends with me. Yeah, it ended with me because I got fucking help. I chose to heal. I chose to be on medication. I chose to go to therapy. I chose to become a therapist. I chose to do the work. That's how it ended with me. I'm also giving credit to God here, but like if we're really being honest, what did he actually do in this instance? I had been praying and praying and praying for years at this point for God to heal my anxiety. It wasn't anything he did. It's what I did. And that's really, really powerful to understand when you've been living under indoctrination and have had your autonomy stripped away from you. That's a very powerful and very empowering realization to come to, that it was you. It was you. You did that. You healed. It's a big deal. Ugh, I'm about to say something else. Okay, hold on. Ugh.
But we can't be at our fullest if we're not sitting with Jesus. That's just the reality of it.
No, that's not actually reality. I'm literally delusional when I say that. That's not reality. We can't be at our fullest unless we're sitting with Jesus. That's just the reality of it. No, that's not reality. That makes no sense. That makes zero fucking sense.
We can't go and do kingdom work. We can't bring the kingdom here unless we're taking care of ourselves and we're letting Jesus fill us up.
Okay, hold on. We got to break shit down. So kingdom work. In Christian theology, kingdom work refers to activities that advance the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is a spiritual realm or reign of God where his will is done, or his like perceived will, if we're being honest. This includes evangelicalism, acts of charity, serving others, and living according to the Bible. So I use the words kingdom work, and then I say bringing the kingdom here. So bringing the kingdom here is tied to a belief in what is called Christian dominion. This is actually influenced by a type of theology called dominion theology. And it's this belief that Christianity should have dominion over earthly systems like government, culture, education, etc. This is also known as the Seven Mountain Mandate, aka Project 25, 2025, Project 2025. So key, and this basically means that these people believe that Christians should have dominion over the 7 areas of societal influence: religion, family, education, government, media, arts and entertainment, and business. And if that's not fucking terrifying, I'm unsure what is, because that's really, really scary. That is literally the basis of Project 2025. They are following this idea of Christian dominionism and wanting to basically incorporate Christian policy ideals and Christian legislation, Christian nationalism, if you will, into all areas of people's lives. And that's a really harmful thing when you're living in a democracy. That's like pretty terrifying. Yeah, also take a shot when Jesus fills us up. Yeah, I talk about this later, Kate, but I'm like, holy shit, the amount of sexual language that I use. I don't know if it's because I've deconstructed and now I'm listening to this with a more just a different mind. But the amount of sexual language I use to describe my relationship with Jesus and what he does for me is really fucking cringy. Okay, so the idea of kingdom work and bringing the kingdom here can be used to coerce conformity and silence critical thinking. This is also a spiritual warfare type language, framing that there's like this urgent battle between good and evil, ramping up the fear and apocalyptic expectations and causing Christians to see the world in black and white terms. I literally have this in a note, Kate. Like, okay, let me play this real quick.
Nothing else can fill us up. Like, Paul's never going to be able to make me completely full. My friendships will never be able to make me completely full. My church. So Sabbaths can.
Thank God that cut out. guess what? Jesus never fully filled me either. And as I said before, Kate, now that I'm like out of Christianity, all I can hear is like this very sexual language I used during that time. Also, my voice is insane. I just don't even sound like me. And I get that our voices change over the years, but like my cadence, my inflection, my tone, it just sounds so, it's like I'm listening to someone I don't even know. It's eerie. It's eerie as fuck. All right, let's keep on going.
Different. You know, you can do a bunch of different stuff on your Sabbath. A lot of times people take a nap. Like rest is one of the most spirit-filled things you could do for yourself. Like sleeping, that is God ordained and appointed. And a lot of times God will visit you in dreams. That's usually what I've experienced is when I'm doing a Sabbath and I fall asleep, God totally shows up.
You fell asleep? All I can think of is that Friends episode when Ross fell asleep reading that letter. Okay. So, God coming to me in dreams. I've always had really intense dreams. My dreams usually have been pretty spiritual-esque since I was a kid. I'm a very intuitive person. I was always a really intuitive kid. And it makes sense to me that when I was in charismatic Christianity, I used to associate those dreams with God speaking to me. When I started seeing my therapist is amazing. She's a therapist who specializes in religious trauma. I love her. She's incredible. So I started seeing her when I started deconstructing. And when I started deconstructing, I was having a lot of really, really intense dreams of me burning in hell. And I had a session with her and I told her, like, I keep having dreams that I'm going to hell. And she said, do you ever think that maybe all the spiritual dreams you've had throughout the years was your body subconsciously processing your religious trauma? Even saying it again, I'm like, I'm happy to report that I no longer dream about hell. I no longer have a fear of going to hell. So if you are stuck in that place of maybe deconstructing some ideology that you were indoctrinated with when it comes to where you're spending eternity, it does get better, I promise you. But when she said like all of those dreams that I've had regarding like God and hell and angels and demons and spiritual attacks, like what if that was all just my body processing my own religious trauma? That was really fucking powerful. I still have intense dreams to this day, but they're not so religious in nature anymore. And I'm able to understand on a new level that it's my body processing either my day, my relationships with people, or something my body's bringing to my attention to heal. I think dreams can serve as a really beautiful catalyst of healing and kind of a door into our subconscious. And that's how I view it as now. I don't view it as like premonitions in a sense. Okay. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Love you.
So sleeping is great. Another thing that I do, which I actually really struggle with because of work, and I took a Sabbath kind of in the middle of my work day today, so I needed to kind of have my phone on me in case any of my coworkers got a hold of me or had a question. But I will like be intentional to turn my phone on silent and to not check it because our phone is such a distraction. And to be honest, like we really don't like who we are. Like we really don't like ourselves that much. And so that's why we get on our phones and like scroll through Facebook or Instagram or do mindless surfing of the web because we can't stand to be alone with ourselves. And that's a hard reality to face.
Okay, let's pause here. It's funny how close I am. I'm close to the point here. We do mind numbing activities like scrolling, binging TV shows, playing video games to an excess when we're having a trauma response, typically when we're in freeze mode. So there are 4 trauma responses. You've probably heard of them: fight, flight, fawn, freeze. All 4 of these trauma responses are very normal for humans to have. And if you've grown up with good enough parenting where you've had secure attachment as a kid, you're able to flow pretty fluidly between those 4 types, and you're able to assess situations and pick which of the 4 types you're going to use. These 4 trauma types are there to protect us. They're not inherently bad for us. But what happens if you grew up in a childhood where there was trauma, including religious trauma? Oh, yeah, Kate. God loves us more than we love ourselves because we're full of sin. Yeah, how many times have I fucking heard that? It's disgusting. But so if you grew up in a childhood where there was significant like childhood trauma, what happens is that you typically find one of the four F responses to cling to, and that's how you respond for everything. Everything that might trigger you, everything that might dysregulate you, you choose that one, sometimes two, sometimes we can shift between two. Typically, it's one dominant 4F response to respond to, or to respond to. When we're in freeze mode, we're just trying to dissociate. And it's not because we don't like ourselves. It's just because we don't have the regulation ability to simply be with ourselves, to be with what our body is experiencing in that moment. We are in the middle of a trauma response. It takes years and years of practice to learn to sit with yourself while you're dysregulated. Okay? So I'm close to the point, but once again, I put that little Jesus cherry on top of it. So I was wrong, and I'm wrong. 2018 AB is incorrect. That is logically, factually, psychologically incorrect. That's not true. That is what I just said in this little video thing. That's not true. Not true.
And taking this Sabbath, when you choose to put your phone to the side, you're welcoming Jesus into the grossness of who you are, and you're letting him just overcome you with grace. So I would encourage you to just put your phone away if you're going to try a Sabbath. And you can start out small. Start out by doing an hour a week. Because it's if you don't pencil it into your schedule, your Sabbath will never happen. Your life becomes busy, and Satan loves to use the busyness of our lives, even if it's for good things, to kind of distract us from being filled up.
Okay, Satan and the busyness of our lives. This is the part of spiritual psychosis that believes in spiritual warfare and demonic influence. There's this obsession in Christianity of making sure you pencil in time with God, and that if you aren't doing that, it's because Satan is distracting you. This over-spiritualization of the concept of how someone chooses to spend their time is truly fucking baffling. But you'll hear this all the time in high-control religious environments. That's the thing. If you are in a religious environment where your time is being dictated or monitored or asked about in some way where they're kind of manipulating you, that is culty. That's culty.
And oh shoot, there was another thing that I was gonna say. Journaling is also really good to do during a Sabbath. And when you feel like your time with God is up, you can still continue to enter into a Sabbath by
who do I think I am? Honestly, the pompous, egotistical attitude here is pissing me off. Pissing me off.
Watching your favorite Netflix show, painting your nails, taking a bubble bath, doing things that are good for you, that are filled with this idea of rest and taking care of yourself.
2018 AB was so close here. I'm spend time with God and then do something you like that helps you take care of yourself. I was close. Yeah, Allie was saying, quoting me here, we really don't like ourselves that much. And then Allie says, perhaps that's because we've been told our whole lives that we're nothing without Jesus, that we're dirty sinners, worm theology, etc. Absolutely, Allie. Absolutely. Yes. 100%. I don't know why there's balloons, but there are. So we're partying. Yeah, Kate, self-care. Literal fucking self-care. Just do self-care. Okay, here we go.
Those are Sabbath-like things, and they're good to do. Another thing that I do during a Sabbath, this is what I wanted to say. What I was saying, another thing that I do is that I don't respond to people's texts. Even if people are just like, hey, what's up? Or, hey, how are you? I don't respond during my Sabbath. Because it's me and Jesus. We're doing our own thing. We're just chilling.
Ew. Nothing is more disgusting to me than people framing Jesus as if he's this literal person that you're in an actual physical relationship with. That's weird. It's weird. Also, how often were people texting me for the few hours I was Sabbathing? Enough for me to talk about it? I'm almost trying, I said this a little bit before, but I'm almost trying to position myself in a holier than thou way here. I truly, if I can think back to 2018, 2019, I don't remember ever Sabbathing for an entire day. Like, I think I did it maybe for a few hours, but never a whole day, because, like, who actually has the ability to do that? Tradwife Fundy homemakers are the only people I could think of who have the time to Sabbath for a whole freaking day. Ugh.
And I'm an extrovert. I thrive on conversations, but something I'm learning about myself is that conversations also make me really exhausted. People can make me really tired. Some people are more needy than other people. That's the reality of the world.
Okay, that is true. There are some people who just drain you a bit more emotionally than others. And you got to gauge where you're at emotionally before you hang out with them. That's true. 2018 Ab was onto something there.
And that's okay. But you also have to know where your limits are and kind of, you have to take care of yourself. So a Sabbath day, don't talk. Don't answer your texts. Just chill.
Who does she think she is?
Be present. It is beautiful. If anybody wants to have some awesome conversations.
Okay, all right, we're moving on to video 2, folks. Let's go. Let's go. This shit is wild looking back on it. Even when I was doing this, when I was making notes for this and rewatching these videos quite a few times and like writing things down, I was just like shocked at what I was saying. I just don't know. Okay, so let me give you some context for this next stitch of videos. There's going to be 3. We're on number 2 now. This is number 2. This next stitch of videos is me talking about stories that I had made previously about how anyone is capable of sinning at any time, specifically that no one is above cheating on their partner. I think the reason I was talking about that is because I think at that time, there was a pretty big marriage downfall in like the large scale church of a pastor cheating on his wife, and I was talking about it. So people kind of came at me about this hot take that I had, about anyone being capable of sinning at any time, specifically that no one's above cheating on their partner. So I made these videos to provide a bit more context into what I was talking about. So buckle up for some more cringe. Here we go.
People about my previous video that I posted. And I feel like I just need to preface that just because you are aware of the capability that you have to sin, specifically in reference to my previous video, just because you're aware of the capability that you have to cheat on your boyfriend or girlfriend or cheat on your spouse does not mean that you have to live in fear of that happening. That's not at all what I'm saying.
Okay, if someone's cheating, it's not a sin. I think you've probably picked up on this now that you've listened to this. I don't believe in the concept of sin at all. I believe in trauma responses, and I believe that cheating is a trauma response. It doesn't excuse bad behavior. Trauma responses don't excuse bad behavior, but it helps us understand the behavior a bit better. When we're viewing behavior from the concept of sin, we're not actually getting to the root of the behavior so we can genuinely experience healing. We're just putting like this Band-Aid on the behavior, white knuckling it, and adding a side of shame and hoping to never commit the sin again after giving it to Jesus.
It's just being made aware of the sin that you could commit.
What's interesting is that I'm saying, like, don't be fearful, don't be afraid, but that's like pretty fucking terrifying theology that I'm throwing out there. I'm literally fear-mongering. Fear-mongering is a manipulative tactic used to spread fear and anxiety among people in order to influence their opinions, behaviors, or decisions. It appeals to emotion over logic, and it targets existing anxieties or uncertainties. When you think of fear-mongering, I want you to think of like the cult following of Trump. And even how he speaks to people in his rallies. The language that he uses preys on the fears and anxieties of the American people. That is essentially what I'm doing when I'm talking about this.
And I think that mindset, we need to carry that with us in every aspect of our lives. Just knowing what darkness we are capable of allows us to be able to not rely on ourselves, but to fully rely on Jesus. And so if we're, if you're taking what I'm saying and then you start to adapt that into, I need to be fearful of this is terrifying. That's not what I'm saying at all, because your identity, it can't be in yourself, and it can't be in your significant other. It has to be in Jesus. And so when you take that identity shift and you're focusing it on Christ, that fear goes away, because you realize that it's not really me doing anything. It's Jesus doing it all through. Also,
Lies. Boring. Just kidding. That fear doesn't go away, y'all. It didn't go away. You know what helped my anxiety? Prozac. Prozac helped my anxiety. Yeah.
I'm in no way saying that we don't have power over sin and darkness. We do. Jesus has given us that power. Praise the Lord. I thank him for that. I thank him that we have the ability to tell Satan to back the hell up and get out of here. We have been given that authority through Jesus Christ.
I'm going to throw up. I'm using hyper charismatic language around spiritual warfare and demonic influence here. And that's to kind of like pull you in, draw you in. Here's the thing. When people are under spiritual psychosis, they don't have... Nittany. Sorry, she's barking. Nittany, come here, baby. When people are under spiritual psychosis, they're not necessarily aware that this is what they're doing. They don't know. It's almost happening on a subconscious level. Neaty! Oh, my BFF Nitika popped in. I fucking love her. She's in Toronto now. Oh, I love you, Neety. Yes, SSRIs are the best, homegirl, and I miss you so much. And Boost Bar. We love Boost Bar. We love them all. I don't even know what I was talking about because I was so happy to see Neety on here. I don't know what I was saying, but carrying on.
However, we would be kidding ourselves if we think we are above anybody else to sin in any aspect of life, because we're not.
Because we're not. Ugh, I just am annoyed. I just want to Abby, get it together. God, I feel bad for the people who were friends with me at this point in time. Jesus Christ, I feel insufferable. So that hypercharismatic language that people are using, it is happening on a very subconscious level when they're experiencing spiritual psychosis. You're not aware that you're doing it, and you also don't have, if I'm being honest, you don't really have the knowledge to understand what's happening psychologically to you. When you have that knowledge of what's happening psychologically, it really changes things. It did for me, that's for sure. Okay. Oh, Lord, I saved the best for last. This probably is the cringiest. This is the cringiest video out of the 3 by far. Get fucking ready. Kate, if you thought I looked dead in the eyes in that second one, wait until this 3rd one. I look gone. I just look very different here. And what's interesting about this is that this would have been 2018, 2019. I just look different. I look a little bit swollen. Maybe I had dental work done. I'm not really sure. But I don't really know. It's just interesting to see, I physically look different. And sure, we change over time. I know that. But I don't know. It's just interesting to watch the progression of these videos. I just don't really recognize who this person is. BB! Excuse me! You want to come here? I don't really recognize the person in these Instagram stories. So in this next video, I'm talking about the Chris Watts murders. Do you guys remember that? I think that did happen in 2018. It did. So this would have been 2018. Guys, when I tell you this is the most cringy thing I could put out on the internet. Get ready. Okay. Neety's ready. Allie, meds literally changed your life too. I love it. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna let this whole video actually play through because it's really rough, and then we're gonna talk about it. Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go.
Guys, so I've been, just thinking so much about this story with Chris Watts and how he murdered his wife and his 2 young girls, 3 and 4. And I've been diving deep into the details of this story, and I can't stop looking into it. And when I first heard about this story, I was like, no, this can't. Something is off. Everybody talked about this guy like this family was a Christian family. And when I first saw his interview by the news people, where he was like, pleading for his family to come back, I knew that something wasn't right. You could just tell that something was off. And then, days passed, or a day later happened, and he confessed to the murders. And I looked at his mugshot, and I looked into his eyes of the mugshot, and I thought, that is not Chris Watts that I'm looking at. That is something. And it is not that person that I'm looking at. It is a demon. And so I started to think like, man, what would happen in this world if we recognized that yeah, people can have mental illness, but what if we just took a quick second to take a step back and think that people who murder people, it's not really them, it's demonic possession. And then, wait for it, what would happen if somehow we were able to pray over people who murdered somebody else and got to see Jesus set them free? It would be crazy. And that's how we're supposed to do life, guys. Yeah. Friday nights with me. Last one, I promise. But will we just dare to believe for 1 second that the evil that happens in this world is actually the work of Satan? That it's not really us, it's not really who we are, but it's actually Satan and his demons. That changes everything. It changes the whole game. It changes how we love people. It changes how we act towards people. It changes how we act towards people when they've murdered our family members. It changes everything. Because then we're able to step back and say, no, you know what? I know that wasn't you. I know that was Satan. Let's get you set free. So.
1 second. Let me pause this for my dog. Hey, Nittany, come here. Come here, baby. Come on. She has... Nittany, come here. Come on. Where's you at? Good girl. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going.
If anybody's living in some dark shit, Jesus wants to set you free tonight. Totally and completely free. I would love to pray for you. I don't heal people. I don't break people's addictions. Jesus is the only one who does that. But I would love to pray for you.
I can't take myself seriously. Okay. Let's take a quick little dog break. Little palate cleanser, if you will, so that you can see Nittany. Hey, baby. Hello. You're a pretty girl. You're pretty. How do the people? Yeah. That's how I talk to her all the time. Don't judge me. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this then. So that was it. That was it. Oh shit. Oops. Hold on. I took away the wrong thing. No. Display? Where's my video? Sorry. Hold on. Image? Oh, video cap. Okay, sorry. Hold on. That was my bad. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. So, that was that. Wait, let me pull up the comments real quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, what's interesting about that is that, yes, Kate, I was absolutely pushing away mental health completely. I only thought of it as like a spiritual thing. Niti said, wow, it's surreal. Can't believe it's the same person I know now. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Need to go. I don't even think we would actually be friends then. I don't think or I would have tried to convert you to Christianity at that point. And then you definitely wouldn't have been my friend. So okay, let me talk a little bit about, I know, isn't Eddie just so beautiful? I love her. Let me talk a little bit about some notes here, because that one was a little bit wild. So I have this excessive focus here on demonology. Demonology kind of focuses on these three things. So paranoia and fear. So it's, this over focus on demons that can foster an atmosphere of fear and paranoia, where everyday problems or challenges are attributed to demonic activity. This mindset encourages believers to see the world in terms of constant spiritual warfare, where any negative experience, emotion, or illness might be caused by possession. And then I have the demonizing of normal behavior. So regular psychological or emotional issues like anxiety, depression, addiction, or even common personality traits can be mistaken for possession, which can prevent people from seeking proper medical or psychological help. I'm living from this also like extreme spiritual warfare mentality. So I have an intense focus on demonic possession, and that leads to this overwhelming fear of evil where people can feel like they're in a constant danger of attack from demons. This can create an unhealthy obsession with spiritual warfare where members are always on high alert and afraid of being influenced by evil forces. And then seeing demons everywhere. So ordinary events, illnesses, or personal struggles can be spiritualized to the point where everything negative is attributed to demonic activity. So like what Ali was saying, I think it was Ali, of like, yeah, man, Satan's working overtime, just not getting this live. It must be Satan after you trying to get this live stream not working. That is what that is. So everything is attributed to demonic activity rather than being understood as a part of normal life or due to human behavior and natural causes. Then we have extreme practices. So, vigilantism. Some Christian groups encourage spiritual vigilantism where members feel called to actively confront what they see as demonic influences in other people's lives. So, this can result in confrontational or even dangerous behavior where people impose their beliefs on others, sometimes inappropriately or without consent. I absolutely did this to people in malls, on the streets. I would like pray for strangers and cast out demons of strangers. And it just is horrific to look back and think that I did that. Then we have this cult like hierarchy. So in charismatic leadership, in charismatic spaces, I want to be very careful with how I talk about this. So in charismatic spaces, there's a lot of focus on demonic possession. And there's often a strong charismatic leader who claims the ability to discern or expel demons. And this leader could be viewed as having special spiritual powers, and followers become dependent on them for guidance, deliverance, and protection. This was very much my experience in my church, in my previous church, my previous church before my previous church. So back in like 2019. And I want to give a bit of a caveat here because I think a lot of the times these charismatic leaders aren't intentionally trying to cause people to be dependent on them. But I think what happens when you're in a leadership position like that is that you hold power over people naturally. You naturally have power over people when you're a pastor. How you yield that power is very important. And I found myself seeking out those church leaders for guidance, deliverance, and protection. This video of this Chris Watts video here is an example of religious mania, which, like I said about before, is a concept within spiritual psychosis. So in this video, you can hear my tone of voice increase. I'm experiencing intense emotions. My body movements are becoming intense. I'm starting to speak rapidly. And if you remember from the beginning, religious mania is a term that describes a state of intense religious excitement and overactivity, where the person might exhibit erratic behavior like excessive preaching. That video is an example of that. Giving away possessions or engaging in risky behaviors because they believe they're following divine instructions. It's honestly wild that I'm actually believing that Satan is behind people murdering others. Like, that's actually a wild concept that I believe that. That I believed that at the time. Then I'm over here saying, like, I don't heal people. I don't break people's addictions. Jesus is the only one who does that, but I would love to pray for you. So the ego boost that I would feel when someone would want me to pray over them was insane. Any good thing that happened in their lives or any healing I saw after I prayed for someone, I would say, oh, that wasn't me, it was Jesus. But internally, I felt like I had a huge part in that and I played a really big role in their lives. Like this feeling that I was super special or elite because God used me, AKA religious delusions, which is when a person experiencing spiritual psychosis in a Christian context might believe they're receiving direct messages from God, that they're a chosen prophet, that they have a special mission that others don't understand. These delusions can sometimes lead to dangerous or erratic behavior. And when I saw that someone, after I prayed for someone and they weren't healed or they weren't like delivered of a demon, I felt responsible for that. So I felt responsible for the highs and I felt responsible for the lows, even though I was walking around saying, it's all Jesus. If Jesus heals, it's him. If Jesus doesn't heal, it's on him. You know, like just this such dangerous theology that's not accurate and it's really scary and it's really harmful and I'm so fucking glad I'm out. It's been really freeing. So that is all I have for you today, my friends. I want to leave the chat open for just a little bit in case anyone wants to ask any questions or share their experience of maybe themselves in the church, or they have questions, or they're walking away, or whatever. Like whatever you want to do, please feel free to use that chat. I know it's a little lagging behind, so there might be a bit of a pause here, but please feel free to just put something in the chat before we close out this live. And even after I close out the live, if you want to ask a question in the comments, you can feel free to, and I will answer it when I'm able to. I am so appreciative of everyone who has popped on here, said hello, participated, or even if you were a silent watcher, like, thank you. Rosé Exposé experience was birthed out of a desire for me to help others know that healing is possible in a religious context. And when I first started deconstructing, I actually didn't know it was called deconstructing. In fact, the term wasn't even used yet. We hear it a lot now, but it wasn't really a thing when I started. I just knew that I was experiencing this feeling of like not really knowing if I believed what I had been taught to believe anymore, and having a lot of questions and people telling me just have faith, just believe, and that wasn't enough for me anymore. And I had a lot of sleepless nights. I had a lot of fear. I lost a lot of friends, and I walked away from a lot of people. But I'm on the other side of that pain now. And it's really beautiful. I'm really glad that I chose to ask questions and allow myself to doubt. And when I became certified as a religious trauma therapist, I knew that I wanted to do something a little bit more outside the context of therapy with people who have religious trauma. I knew I wanted to be able to use not only my past experiences, but also my current knowledge on religious trauma and help people in a non-therapeutic setting where we can talk like this and we can be super like just talk and drink wine, and this isn't therapy, but it's therapeutic, isn't it? It's therapeutic to be here together in a community like this where we can be honest and we can ask questions and we can doubt and we can walk away not knowing and be okay with that. Be okay with curiosity, be okay with not having answers. When the church has always told us to have faith, we're able to walk away and be like, actually, it's okay if we leave that, if we set that faith down now and we go find ourselves. And so I'm just, yeah, I know I'm kind of rambling, I guess, but I'm so happy that you guys are here. So thank you for tuning in. Huge shout out also to my dear, dear, dear friends, Tabby and Rory, who I actually was in the charismatic church culture with Tabby, and we both deconstructed at similar times, but I don't think we really knew it. And then we just became friends, like really, really great friends after we deconstructed, and we're our most authentic selves, and that's been really cool. So huge shout out to Tabby and Rory. I love them so much. They are chosen family. Tabby helps me think of the name called the Rosé Exposé Experience, and then Rory created the graphic that you see, and it's super fun. I love it so much, and I'm really thankful for them and their love for me. I really love them. So thank you to everybody who's here. Please feel free to comment, ask questions, hit me up. My Instagram is at abby.the.therapist. And you can feel free to check out. I have a lot of like religious trauma content on there. That's mostly the content that I put out on there. And yeah. Thank you for being here. Ari, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Ari was also in my life in 2018, Abby. So was Allie. So was Kate. So many people here knew me when I was indoctrinated. So it's cool to see y'all back here now. And it makes me wonder how some of you have grown and healed too. So beautiful. I'm glad we're all here. Kate, thank you. I love you very much. And I love that you're free too. So go have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed whatever beverage you chose to drink today. And I am excited for the next Rosé Exposé, which will probably be in October. So stay tuned. Take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. You are whole as you are. You are not broken. You don't need fixed. I love you, and I will see you next time.